So I've already done, I think, 2 videos on this gentleman in Denver, Colorado, that called for a school shooting as a distraction to Trump's impeachment. I want to remind everybody that that's a Christian radio show. And I remember when I was a kid, I didn't listen to Christian radio, but I remember like the advertisements down here were like, we're not right, we're not left, like we're, godly or Christian or whatever. Like I remember they weren't political. They didn't go, other than like, okay, we're against abortion, we're against the homosexual marriage, things like that. Now that's 15 years ago, maybe more than that. 15, 13 years ago when I remember hearing and seeing those kind of things. So things have changed quite a bit. The gays have the right to marry. You had homosexuals have television programs like Ellen DeGeneres. So the social consciousness has changed a bit. But I still look at shows like that as not being about politics, being about God, being about religion, being about the religion they believe in. I'm reading the comments on this news break. A lot of racist stuff on there. And there were people on there talking about, I don't care about kids either. People shouldn't take this out of context. That he was talking about the press using it. Basically saying the press use these mass shootings as fuel to do what they want. First of all, it's like when Kanye West was talking about slavery being a choice. Why would you use your social currency to even talk about that? It's a Christian radio show. Keep it there. You don't talk politics, but keep it centered on God. Second of all, that's not what he said. He didn't say the press this, that, and the other. He said he hoped for a mass shooting to get people to be distracted from the impeachment. So the man that put that comment on there was simply taken out of context. It's kind of like when Trump was talking about, he said, all corporations are hereby ordered to return to America. And this guy, I think on YouTube, was like, it was not an order. That's in the comments. He actually said ordered. He said that. So you crackers are just so desperate for legitimacy when there's no legitimacy to be found. I find it interesting. Like, even they know this stuff is wrong, but their reaction is just twisted. I mean, I find it interesting. It's just lies. It's complete lies. It's sickness, what it is. Real sick. Real sick. Now, people were talking about he could be sued and all this stuff. I hadn't even thought about that. I hope nothing happens, Knock on wood. I hope nothing happens. I said this before, I think in my first video, that most of these kids that are getting killed in the mass shootings are overwhelmingly white. When these guys talk about we're going to get back, we're going to take back our country and all this, and they're not doing it politically. Anybody see the midterms? Anybody watch the midterms? Anybody see what just happened, the midterms? Anybody just watch the impeachment? You're not taking back your country. If it was your country to begin with. You're not taking anything back. You're losing, white man. You're losing all across the board. And so the only other thing you could mean is straight up wholesale violence. Who? Violence of who? Violence of us. Violence of the average person. So this white man saying, if we can't run our society where we see fit, where we please, people will die. That's what I hear. And to hear a Christian radio host echo that premise, that's really sick. And it's sad. That's really sad. And my heart goes out to the people whose families are out here who are probably still grieving. This is the holidays. Christmas is coming up soon, and they're thinking about their kids. You know, they're thinking about their children, and their children are dead. I don't see this as the press using it because these shootings keep happening. And if he felt like that, there was a way to put. I think this proves the point that white people fight for the right to be racist. That white people, the patriarchy, their fight will never be our fight. Never. It just like they talk about things being so divided. Yes, things are divided because they're making them that way. Does it make sense? They're making things divided and they're keeping them that way because we don't have anything in common. If you're out here attempting to defend somebody who actually believes that a mass shooting should happen to take away distraction from something political, that's sick. And then saying that you hope nobody dies, first of all, I don't believe him. I think he meant exactly what I just think it leaked out. I think that's how a lot of white men think. It just leaked out. Just got out. I don't believe that. Secondly, a mass shooting when nobody dies? Then it would be a mass shooting. What are you talking about? Some guy shooting up an empty building? It's almost like as soon as he said it, he realized he was wrong. It was too late. This is why when they talk, when Alex Jones puts stuff out here about gay people, and he puts out stuff about people being communists, stuff. This is why when they do that, I can always show you stuff like this. I can always show you the congressman that was so anti-gay, and they caught him at Coachella with his hands down another man's pants. I'll always be able to find stuff for you if that's what you want. If that's the content you guys, I will always be able to find stuff like that. That Alex Jones, there's people trying to make the Republican Party out to be this force for good and honesty and decency. No, man. No. I can find you stuff like this of some white guy on a Christian radio show advocating for violence. That, you know what I mean? This is the era we're in. They make no bones about wanting violence. I can't understand it because the majority of the kids getting killed are white. The teachers are white. So you want more white kids? I mean, growing up, I've heard the statement about a future homeland for white children, but you're killing white children. I don't get it. And you're doing it in white state. Like, they're not, like, it's crazy to talk about gun violence and gun laws because a lot of these states where the shootings happen have very liberal gun laws. How many mass shootings have we had in Texas? Florida? How many? Shit, Texas, they go back to that damn Luli's cafeteria back in the 90s. What was the dude shooting out of the watchtower at the college? What was it? You had the one they had at Santa Fe, the one they had at it was Midland and Odessa. Yeah. Now, are you trying to get me these are not conservative areas? Like I say all the time, they say Democrats destroy cities. That's true. But Republicans destroy states. That's right. And their ideology destroys states. This type of violence is not going to stop. And, you know, I thank God that there has not been any sort of organized violence after the impeachment. I thank God that has not happened. I hope nothing happens. I mean, a part of me feels like white men, they feel like they've kind of like given up hope in the political process. That's another thing I think that they'll give up hope in the political, you know, process and feel like, well, we don't have power over it anyway. You know, demographically and things like that. That we don't have power. We've lost the social discussion, which you have. See, when these guys do this violence against police officers, that just ups the next recruitment drive or the next academy. You know that, right? When cops get killed, even doing bad stuff, that makes people want to join the police department. Like the cop that got shot in his car in Arkansas, I think it was Fayetteville. Yeah, that's what happens. Same thing when they kill blacks and beat up blacks. I think that makes white people, like, down the road, I think it makes them embarrassed. Like when they talk about these white people dying, integrating and dating and stuff, I think that, I say this all the time. When white people just say, you know what, we're going to use violence to maintain what we want. And I'm talking